Hello, all you beautiful beings. And happy Pride Month. You know what I'm really sick of? Other than this back pain I just saw the doctor for today, which luckily he doesn't think is arthritis, and prescribed me medication for, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm really sick of is, well, this has become especially noticeable. Well, this becomes especially noticeable in Pride Month and when talking about issues of LGBTQ plus rights, but just rights of marginalized people in general. People who say they want to be allies or that they are allies, but who make their allyship all about them and their needs and their feelings and their shit, basically. Don't know what I'm talking about? Roll the tape, please.
Howdy, my people. Welcome to the much talked about by me series about SJW extremists that I have been talking about, that I'm now telling you about, that I've already just said that I told you about that. Never mind, let's move on. This series is my way to try to explain where I think the SJW extremists go wrong, my attempt to keep people from going into that extreme direction, and to maybe help the SJWs understand a little bit why they're pushing people away, how they're pushing people away. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about was allyship. So first I just want to say that I know that the ally thing plays into the whole identity politics thing, which I have come to realize lately is quite a problem. So I know that if we didn't actually even have identity politics, we wouldn't have allies, and I will be talking about identity politics in a future video, but I think we also need to accept the fact that identity politics isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and so allies are going to be a thing in people's minds for the foreseeable future. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it because there is a real problem right now in the whole world of allies and SJW's treatment of allies. Number one, don't tell people not to speak. If you have somebody who is willing to stand up for you, especially in today's political climate, and you tell them for whatever reason, either because you're not a person of color, because you're not a trans person, because you don't have, super scientific knowledge about these things, that you should just sit down and not speak, and only listen and not speak. While I kind of understand why you're saying that, because you're afraid somebody's gonna make things worse, as an ally, being told to sit down and not speak is rude as fuck. Let's just get real, alright? It's rude as fuck. Nobody wants to be told that their opinion doesn't matter. Nobody wants to be told that what they have to say is going to be more harmful than helpful, especially when it's somebody who genuinely wants to help your cause. You take somebody who is passionate about defending people that they care about, and you tell them for whatever reason they need not speak, you are going to make that person feel like you don't think their thoughts and input is important, and or that your thoughts and input, or a person's of color's thoughts and input, or an actual trans person's thoughts and input is more important than yours. And that is going to hurt most people's feelings. It just is. And while I understand that the whole theory behind, telling an ally how to act is based on this idea that we don't really care about the ally's feelings. I mean, it's like literally written in there, you're gonna get hurt, get over it. But that's ridiculous. And if your ally potentially, supposedly, allegedly cares about your feelings, which is why they are an ally. So for you not to return that sentiment is, again, I say, rude as fuck. Let people talk. Let people talk. Yes, there may be some fallout from that. Perhaps somebody will say the wrong things, and perhaps somebody won't explain something the way you would want it to be explained. But I think the potential good that can come from people speaking about these things far outweighs the potential bad that might occasionally come across somebody's lips.
I mean, I'm very sorry for you that you feel slighted and you think it's rude when marginalized people ask you to not speak over them or try to speak for them. I'm very sorry you feel slighted by that, but that is your failing and not theirs, not ours. That's whatever, but I'm sorry. this is actually something that I've been dealing with personally. This past Saturday, a friend of mine who is a queer non-binary person, they're white, they're a white person, and this friend and I, we went to this meeting for this this LGBTQ plus pride organization that's trying to upstart. It's a Montgomery County thing, and it's been trying to upstart for a while, and most of the board members are LGBTQ plus men, white guys basically, and then one is a white woman who's not LGBTQ plus, but is an an ally. She's actually a pastor. I think she's a Unitarian pastor, and she, like this woman, she is very well intended. Yeah, the one thing I noticed in this meeting is that I was the only non-white person there, and I kind of spoke up, saying, "Hey, have you guys made any efforts to reach out to LGBTQ plus people of color, because I know I'm not the only LGBTQ plus person of color in Montgomery County, because Montgomery County, Maryland is mostly non-white people." And they seem to take offense to that, almost like they felt I was accusing them of something. My friend spoke up about it too, and my friend and I also spoke up about the fact that while we appreciate the help of our allies, like the woman on the board, we would appreciate if they were to step aside and let us, the queer people, speak for ourselves. And the lady took that so personally and just got so offended, and was just like, "Don't you know what I put on the line to be a part of this group? My church well, my church doesn't like it, then I'm a member of this group." And I'm just thinking, lady, stop. You are not a victim in this. You are not a queer person. It's you could be a pastor in a different church and you go on with your life. It's people literally get killed for being LGBTQ plus. Yeah, and yes, all the shitlords out there, it does happen in this country. Look it up. But moving on.
Number 2, don't make people feel guilty for who they are. I've always, agreed with the theory that, there might be in most white people an underlying, just not really understanding the full struggle that people of color go through. I agree with that theory, not for every single white person in the world, but I do think that there's a lot of white people who just don't really get that the struggle is still very, very real and still very much happening. But you can only be in a stream or whatever so many times and see the words white liberal getting thrown around with an intense meaning of negativity behind it before you finally are like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. I am not going to judge you for who you are based on your skin color, so how fucking dare you judge me? Yes, I am a white liberal. Can you stop saying that like I'm a fucking snail that you just squished under your foot? My color has nothing to do with my personality, just like your color has nothing to do with your personality. And while I may not be perfect, and I may still have some, beliefs stuck in there in the back of my mind or whatever, for whatever reason, because all white people do, or whatever it is that you guys say, even if that were true, telling me I'm a white liberal and that makes me a piece of shit person right off the bat, eat me.
No, thanks. I'm saving that for when I actually do meet a cute goth girl. Real talk, though, I mean, this complete lack of just understanding, and just, again, it really just comes off getting all offended and just making your allyship all about you and your feelings. It's just and hearing criticisms of white liberals, and like, I mean, I have criticisms of white liberals in general because, I'm in Montgomery County and I'm basically surrounded by them. Um, I've had criticisms of white liberals that I'm kind of vocal about, at least online. Um, um, and instead of just getting really, really just kind of salty about like hearing people criticize white liberals, why not actually just listen to the criticisms themselves? Just kind of take a step back and be like, okay, well, it's tone policing is one of the biggest problems I have with people who just want their ally cookies. You get all salty about the people you say you want to be an ally to being angry or upset with you. You don't really seem all that interested in why they might be angry or upset or annoyed or whatever. It's just like because you don't listen, because you don't care, because again, you make the allyship about you.
I do believe, as recent events have proven, racism is still a real problem in America. It just is. I agree with that. But racism can go both ways. I know that there's a lot of people out there right now that will tell me that is not true. I understand that there is this whole idea that, an oppressor is required for there to be racism and power and blah, 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 blah. I get that, but bullshit. I call bullshit. Racism to me, pure and simple, is judging an entire group of people negatively based on their skin color. That's just racism, period. You are judging that race as a collective. And if you are doing that against black people, it's bad and terrible and disgusting and gross. I mean, really fucking gross. But you know what? If you're doing it toward white people, it's also bad and disgusting and gross, right? And you are not going to earn any allies from people that you are making feel as though they will never be good enough simply by virtue of the color of their skin. How that is even up for debate is really mind-boggling to me, because like I said, 2 months ago I would have been like, oh yeah, I'm sure I have some sort of, inside racism that I don't even know, and yeah, I get that, and I watch Decoded, and sure, I get it. But the more I've seen and had to sit in these streams and hear people talk about white people like we are the enemy, it's like, but I'm here for you. I'm here to be your ally.
Are you? Are you really here for us? For other people? Because it really seems like this allyship is all about you and your feelings, and you're less willing to be an ally because you feel uncomfortable when people make these generalizations about. I'm sorry. Let me just make something very clear. Generalizations about white people do not get white children killed. Generalizations people have about black people have gotten black children killed in very recent years. So I'm really sorry that you feel bad when you hear people make generalizations about white people, but quite frankly, tough shit. You need to get over it. And you know what? Getting over it is part of making yourself a more reliable ally. I'm a cis person. I consider myself a trans ally, and I'm a fan of a lot of different trans pages on Facebook, and I follow a lot of trans people on Twitter. Have a lot of trans people as friends all over social media and in real life, and I see a lot of just passing comments about, oh my god, the cis people are at it again. I see groups like you are cissing me off and things like that, and like, I could get really butthurt about it and be like, oh my god, you're making me feel so bad as a cis person. But I don't, because like, allyship is not about me and my feelings. And like, I have not experienced life as a trans person, like, navigating a world that's not meant for me, that's not meant for me. I mean, I'm a cis person, the world is meant for me from that angle. It's like, that these are very simple concepts, and and part of being an ally is that's the most basic thing about being an ally. It's like not making it about you and your feelings. It's really not that freaking hard, lady.
I'm here to help. I'm here to stand up for you. I'm here to stand with you side by side with my hand in yours, fighting the people who are trying to oppress you. And it's not me doing it, despite the fact that I'm Caucasian. So, let's stop judging everybody based on their skin color, right? Even us horrible, horrible white folks. Even us really dirty, centrist, liberal white folks. Can we please just stop assuming the worst of everybody? That would be my number one tip, actually. Number 3, don't use a how to be an ally guidebook as a freaking flogger on people. This link was given to me the first time because I asked for it. I appreciated it the first time it was sent. I didn't consider that to be bad in any way, shape, or form. However, that same website ended up being used as kind of like a ruler. You know when the Catholic school teachers would like rap you on the knuckles? Oh, you've done something wrong. That's what this thing felt like. So it was.
Because the true icing on this cake of false victimhood is claiming being mildly corrected feels like being faced with corporal punishment by a school official. Please continue.
Sent to me first by this person because I asked for it, and then a few months later, after I had, misbehaved and said things I shouldn't say, I was sent it again with a, you need to read this, with a, you've done something wrong. It was absolutely used like a flogger to sort of like discipline me and tell me that I've done something wrong. The person who...
I am honestly... This is something I really cannot stand. It's a borderline gaslighting tactic that, like, a lot of fake performative allies use. It's like framing being told no, or you're wrong, or you fucked up as, oh, why are you attacking me? Why are you punishing me? It's like, if you can't stand being just mildly corrected, then maybe, you know what? Then you're not ready to be an ally. I'm sorry. It's like, wait, why am I apologizing? It's like, I'm not sorry. It's like you can't handle being mildly criticized? Tough shit. That's not anyone's failing but your own.
Who sent that to me within about 10 minutes of sending it to me blocked me. So it was clearly not like a gesture of goodwill, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't have these guidebooks at all, or websites, or whatever it is you want to call them, because I do think that, like, when I was sent it the first time, I wanted that information. I wasn't expecting it to be kind of quite as like, you're gonna fuck up no matter what, and you're gonna get told you're fucking up all the time, and you just need to sit down and take it. I didn't expect it to be like that.
But it was information that I was looking for, and so I think in that regard, these things are good to have. But don't use them as a, look what you've done something wrong, or as a, spanking, you need to reread your guidebook, you need to see what you've done something wrong here. Like, that is not going to... Do you really think somebody's going to read it after that and go, oh yeah, this all sounds great. I need to just take my flogging and say, Mother, may I have another?
Thank you, sir, may I have another?
No. There aren't many human beings who are just going to, like, roll over and go, okay, sure. And whether you think, like, we should just get over it and deal with being, reprimanded or whatever, whether that's true or not, that's not how human beings work. And it is a prime way to push people away. Number 4.
Okay, here's a tip. If you can't stand being mildly corrected when you get things wrong, how about you woman up and actually try to do better? Try to get better and stop whining every time you're mildly corrected. Actually work on it if you can't stand being corrected. It's not exactly rocket science. It's just a thought. It's like... And if you don't want to do either of those things, then why are you even trying to be an ally at all? It's like, why don't you go back and try to be friends with all those shitlords you were trying to be friends with? Is there nothing in it for you anymore? Okay, mate, that's not fair because this video is from last year, so I don't even know where she stands on this anymore, but excuse me, it's just... But this is a common thing with allies. It's like they really, like, it's like, I mean, not allies, but like the performative allies who, like, they really want to have their cake and eat it too. They want an ally cookie for like saying, hey, oh, I'm an ally, but they don't want to do any of the work. It's like, and it doesn't happen like that. It's just, wow.
Recognize that I can be your ally without agreeing with everything you have to say. I can be an ally to Muslim people while also acknowledging that Islam can be very, very dangerous. I can be an ally to trans people without believing it's necessary to tell people that there may be a bigoted reason why they aren't attracted to trans people. I can be an ally to Asians and still hate them for being better at math than me. Joking! Joking! I don't.
And again, what you seem to be missing is that there's a bit more to being an ally than just saying, I'm an ally, where's my cookie? It's like, you actually need to put in the work to be an ally. And you don't seem to be willing to do it. It seems to revolve around your feelings. This is not allyship, this is performative allyship.
There's very many people that agree, like 2 people that agree on much of anything, and that doesn't mean that I'm any less your ally, or any less your friend, or any less somebody who's willing to defend you when you need to be defended. I think that we expect, well, obviously we expect too much from our allies. We just do. We've decided that it's a job, and that they have to have all these qualifications in order to actually be allowed to do the job.
Okay, listen. Listen very carefully. By expecting our allies to not speak over us, to not assume they know everything about our needs and our struggles, and to not act and to not be fragile and act and take umbrage when we lightly criticize them or lightly correct them. I don't think we're asking anything superhuman of them. And I'm sorry if you disagree, but that's on you, not on us. Not on us. And no one is saying it's a job, but it's like, hey, just saying, hey, maybe you should sit back and listen. Hey, maybe if you want to be an ally to trans people, well, you should actually reconsider. Hey, maybe I have some beliefs that are slightly transphobic. Maybe I've said some transphobic shit in the past. Maybe I should reevaluate that. Hey, if you want to be an ally to people of color, you should think, hey, maybe I have some racist thoughts and beliefs and behaviors that I should reflect on. I don't think that's asking anything superhuman and too much of people who claim to care. I don't think that's... Apparently it is, though, and I don't really... I'm sorry, I need to just breathe a minute.
But you must believe this about this, and you must believe this about this, and you must at least be open to believing this about this. And again, that is, well, it's number 1, it's discounting your allies' feelings, which I've already talked about being counterproductive. And it's again telling people that their opinions don't matter, that their feelings and views and experiences don't matter nearly as much as the group of people that they're supposed to be an ally to. And
once again, with all due respect, tough shit. Maybe you do need to listen. Maybe you need to reevaluate some things. Maybe you need to stop playing the victim and maybe realize you don't know as much as you think you do. Maybe you need to stop thinking being an ally is all about you and your needs. Just a thought.
Again, stupid. Just not gonna get you anywhere. It's just not gonna get you anywhere. Ultimately, there's just too many rules. If I have a friend who wants to stand up for me, which is basically what an ally is, ultimately, or should be, I'm not going to tell them there's all these like sort of prerequisites they have to meet, and these lessons they have to learn, and these new words they need to use, and these beliefs they have to have, and that there's all these things that they have to do in order to be an appropriate friend to me.
You know, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Like, that's so not cool in so many ways. And not only is it not fair to the person who's trying to be your ally, it's also it's not going to help you. How are we going to teach people that everybody's opinions matter while we're saying except for the allies? like, I just don't get it. I just don't understand how that's useful.
Well, I'll give you a point. I just don't get it. It might just be the most accurate thing you've said throughout this entire video. Really, you could have just ended it there. I mean, honestly, you really don't get it, and you clearly don't want to get it. Again, you just really seem to want allyship to be all about you and your feelings, and that's not what allyship is. And while friendship and allyship in an activist sense do mean different things, that's not even really what friendship is. It's like, if I had a friend who was only concerned about their feelings and their wants and their needs, I have had friends like that. I had one friend like that when I was younger, and the less I say about that, the better. It's just, it's like that would be a toxic friendship that would need to end. It's like because allyship isn't about you. It's about I keep repeating myself. It's just clearly you just want allyship to be this thing that it's just not, and you clearly just can't be bothered to educate yourself. I don't want to say that you're like these shitlords, because you're not. I don't believe you are, but you're barely better. This just refusal to learn is barely better than the kind of thing I covered in my last video, or the videos before that.
That's where I think the extreme social justice warriors mess up the whole ally thing. They've made it filled with all these requirements that just, very few people can actually live up to. They've made an allyship, being an ally, as though like being a second class, not citizen, but second to the group. Like if I'm supposed to be an ally to people of color, I am second to that group of people, and I don't see. First of all, that's bullshit. We are all equal across the board. Fuck anybody who
says that we're not. And second of all, it's like that whole killing to show that killing is wrong thing, right? It's like one cancels out the other. You matter, I matter, but no, you don't matter in this situation because this person matters more in that situation, and this person's feelings, depending upon what we're talking about and what group of identity, what identity group we're talking about at the moment, you matter more or less and in that situation, and, what? No, we all matter equally across the board. And if your way of allowing somebody to be an ally goes absolutely against that, it isn't going to work. We have to start making everybody feel as though their feelings matter just as much as everybody else's, and as though their opinions matter, whether we agree with them or not, particularly for somebody who's trying to be your ally. We have to let them know they matter. We have to let them know they count every bit as much as the group of people that they're trying to be an ally to.
I could make an entire video about the whole about everything wrong with the concept of everybody's opinions matter. But I'd be here all day. That would be a topic for a whole other video. And there goes Loki. Moving on. So ultimately we're just dealing with a bunch of fucking liberal bullshit about, like, how it's bad to tell people who call themselves allies that they're wrong, or that they need to step back and not talk over you. How it's bad because it makes them feel bad, and how they might not be your allies anymore, and it just... Oh my god, she misses the point so much. It's like, I don't know if she feels this way anymore because, like, this video is a year old. This person has commented on my videos before because we used to be friendly, before, like, I don't know, like, there's been a lot of drama going on the past couple years, and, like, I don't even know why, like, somehow she became convinced that I was a mean person because I said something mean to Patrick/Bearing. Because, you know, who would be mean to him? He's such a charmer. But, anyway, I don't intend for this video to convince her of anything. But I can convince you, all my lovely viewers, of things. So if you take anything away from this video, let it be this. If you want to be an ally to a group of which you are not a member, that's great. But remember, allyship is not about you. So, if the people you're ally to ask you to step aside and not speak for them, please listen. Please ask what you can. Please ask what you can do to help. Please don't speak over people, and always don't be a dick, basically. That is my basic rule of life. Don't be a dick. That's all for this video, and as always, peace, love, and stay hydrated. And rejoice and love yourselves, because you were born this way, baby.